Hi, I'm John Hart. Welcome back to Mr. America Heart. Today I'm giving you the 3 most dangerous exercises that you can practice lengthened partials on. Lengthened partials, as you'll recall, is a very hot topic in recent months, this last year in particular, with the advent of some pretty good studies that came out showing how effective lengthened partials are in training. And I pointed out in one of my previous videos that this really kind of harkens back about 40 or 50 years to a time period where everybody did lengthened partials on almost all, well, most exercises really. They were included on almost every body part. And so what this brings us to, though, is sometimes revisiting the sins, the problems of the past, okay? And in this 1 or 3 cases, there is a problem. And so I'm going to introduce these to you. I've mentioned 1 or 2 of them before, so here we go. One of them, number 1, by far and away, deep dips. If you're going to do the dip motion, you must know that your triceps get heavily worked, your chest gets heavily worked, the anterior deltoid gets heavily worked. When you go down to a relatively deep depth, that is where the muscles are engaged, the AC joint, that's the top of your shoulder, is not so internally rotated forward to such a degree that it's kind of twisted up. If you avoid that, that's the very bottom of a dip. If you avoid that, you'll end up having pretty healthy shoulders long term. Should you tempt and should you decide to go ahead and play with that and foolishly continue on with that for years on end, if you have the genetic anomaly of Superman, that is just man of steel shoulders, perfect alignment in those shoulders, able to handle those deep dips in a single bound, I will tell you, I guess you'll be okay. But otherwise, the vast majority of humans out there will end up destroying, irritating seriously, causing just intense pain in their shoulders from those deep dips. It's inevitable. So deep dips are the number 1 on my list. Number 2, and notice I'm saving you the trouble of just, they're really all 3 pretty bad, but I'm just naming them as 1, 2, and 3. Number 2, cambered bar bench presses. Cambered bar bench presses is a technique used by powerlifters, and as such, they use it in certain segments of their training to improve the lift off of their chest, the bottom part of their lift. And when you do that, temporarily speaking, it's not too bad. But if you decide that you've bought into the lengthened partials and, whoa, as lengthened as you can get partials, notice, I keep pointing out, that's not the science. As lengthened as you can get partials. Muscles are made to lengthen to a degree, and then there's a point that they hit where they're just hyper-stretched way beyond. And a joint especially has gone way beyond what it was meant to go. And that becomes a problem over time. Overuse injuries occur. And so if you do that with the cambered bar bench press, and you decide every chest workout you're going to do these deep bench presses, it, again, will cause problems with those shoulders. So, I don't like it. In powerlifting, when we're talking about training for a powerlifting competition, sometimes you take some chances in the name of being the strongest you can. It's competition, okay? So using that cambered bar is a technique, a training technique used to improve that lower blast off of the chest with the weight. So it's a temporary situation. It's not something they use all the time. You run a risk. Okay, between those first 2 exercises, there's a lot of heavy chest involvement. And between dips and cambered bar bench presses, I have not seen anybody tear their pec on a cambered bar bench press. But the numbers of bodybuilders and just fitness people in general, just working out, who've done deep dips, who've torn that pec right off the bone, is innumerable. I mean, I can name off the top of my head, I know a handful personally who have torn their pec doing dips. So that extreme depth is a problem as well for the muscle. So dips, cane-bar bar bench presses, and then thirdly, single arm lateral raises done with either a cable or lying on your side and coming too far across your body before lifting that arm out. Coming too far across your body in the name of getting a deeper than deep stretch is foolish. And the reason why is because as you come down low and then go beyond low, the supraspinatus, which is a tiny little muscle up in the shoulder, the supraspinatus is possibly the most injured muscle in the gym. And it's a very delicate muscle, and it initiates the movement of abduction, moving your arm out to the side. It initiates it, and then the big deltoid takes over. When you are loaded with weight and you extremely stretch and go beyond the delt stretch, the supraspinatus is put under extremely unnatural load. That could be a problem. I've known, again, plenty who have torn their supraspinatus. It's a painful tear. I mean, we're talking about many nights of no sleep until some sort of surgery is done. Anti-inflammatories, yes. And then eventually surgery, yeah, of some type to try to reattach the thing. But it's a messy one, any way you cut it. So single arm lateral raises, whether you're lying on your side or doing it with a cable, is problematic, and possibly, all three of the ones I mentioned are equally as bad. That's the way I have to leave it at that. So, if you want to get more information on how I train everybody, how I incorporated some high intensity techniques into training, diet, exercise, get a hold of my course down below. I have a new course that's out. I'll put the link down below. You can get that course. I also have a special offer with it where you can get a hold of all of my books, included in that course, for a special price, only for you, coming from this video. So down below, go ahead and hit that link, okay? And off to my left, before you go, you're going to see a link, a little circle, a disc, pop up. That's what it is, a disc. That is a subscribe button for my channel. Please hit that thing and let YouTube know you want to know when I have new videos pop up. And then down below and off to your left, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Please give that thing a tap if you like my videos. It lets YouTube know how much you like my videos, and it lights up the algorithm, and it lights me up too. So let's go. See you soon.